The alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. You reach for it before your eyes open. Your hand knows exactly where the phone sits on the nightstand because it has performed this motion 1,400 times. You are 23 years old. You shower in 8 minutes. You eat cereal standing at the counter because sitting down would cost you the 7:02 bus. You work 8 hours. You commute 90 minutes. You come home. You eat. You look at your phone. You go to sleep. The alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. Every single dollar you earn arrives because you showed up and traded hours for it. If you stop showing up, the money stops arriving. This is not income. This is a transaction. And you are the product being sold. Your passive income is $0 a month. 100% of your survival depends on your physical presence in a building you did not choose, doing work that will not remember your name. The first rule: if your income requires your attendance, it is not yours. It is rented, and the landlord is your employer. You read something one night at 11:30 p.m. on your phone, something about dividends. You don't understand most of it. You open a brokerage account the following Tuesday with $500. You invest in an index fund because someone on the internet said it was the simplest thing that works. You set up a $150 monthly auto transfer. The first quarterly dividend arrives 3 months later, $4.12. It deposits into your account on a Wednesday morning while you are sitting on the bus. You stare at it. $4.12. You did nothing to earn it. You were asleep when it was generated. It is the smallest amount of money you have ever been excited about. By 25, the dividends are hitting $47 a month, then $56. It fluctuates. It is not life-changing. It is not even noticeable in your budget. But something has changed in how you think. You now understand that money can arrive without an alarm clock attached to it. You understand this not as a concept from a book, but as $4.12 that appeared in your account while you were unconscious. That distinction is everything. The shift. You stop seeing your savings as a safety net and start seeing them as employees. Quiet, invisible employees who work a shift you never have to supervise. You are 27. Your portfolio pays $140 a month in combined dividends and interest. Your salary is $54,000. A coworker named Rena asks how you can afford to seem so calm about money. You tell her. She nods politely. She does not open an account. You buy your first rental property at 28, a one-bedroom condo in a secondary market 40 minutes from the city. Purchase price, $127,000. Down payment, $25,400 saved over 26 months. Mortgage, $680 a month. Rent, $1,050. After taxes, insurance, and a maintenance reserve, you net $190 a month. Combined with your dividends, your passive income crosses $340 a month. It pays your car insurance and your phone bill, 2 expenses that no longer require your labor. Your passive income crosses $500 a month at 29. It covers your groceries. You eat the same meals as before. Nothing changes externally, but internally something recalibrates. You realize you could feed yourself without working. Not well, not extravagantly. But the math exists. The second rule. Passive income doesn't change your life at $500 a month. It changes your relationship with fear. Fear has been the background noise of every financial decision you have ever made. At $500 a month, the volume drops for the first time. You are 31. Your salary has increased to $71,000. You have 2 rental units now. The second one cash flows $220 a month after expenses. Your portfolio dividends are at $310 a month. Total passive income, $720 a month. That covers your rent in the shared apartment. You could technically stop paying rent out of your salary. You don't restructure anything. You just know. And knowing changes how you walk into your office on a Monday. You are no longer there because you have to be. You are there because the math hasn't reached the next threshold yet, but you can feel it approaching. The people around you work with a tension in their shoulders that you used to share. You notice you don't carry it anymore, not because you are wealthy, because you have options they cannot see. At 33, the number crosses $1,200 a month. You sit on your couch on a Saturday afternoon and calculate what would happen if you were fired on Monday. Your passive income covers rent, food, phone, insurance. You would survive indefinitely, not comfortably, but you would not drown. The realization does not make you happy. It makes you quiet. A specific, structural kind of quiet that comes from knowing the floor beneath you is not your employer's floor. It is yours. You built it, plank by plank, $4.12 at a time. You notice a change in your posture at work. When the regional manager walks into the office, the usual knot in your stomach is gone. You realize that fear in the corporate world is entirely tied to dependency. They don't control you. They just control your electric bill. And your portfolio just paid your electric bill. For the first time, you look at your supervisor not as a master of your fate, but as a client purchasing your hours. You are no longer trapped. You are just deciding to stay. Your brother calls on a Sunday. He just lost his job. He has $800 in checking and 2 months of lease remaining. He asks to borrow $3,000. You send it within the hour. You do not feel the loss, not because $3,000 is small to you. It is not, but because your passive income will replace it in less than 3 months without you lifting a finger. This is the first time money has given you the ability to help someone without hurting yourself. You hang up the phone and sit very still for a long time. Your brother calls you 3 minutes after the transfer hits his account. His voice is shaking. He asks how you can afford this when you want it back, how he can set up a payment plan. You tell him there is no payment plan. You tell him the system generated that money while you were both asleep, and it will just keep generating more. You hear him exhale softly over the phone. That exhale is the sound of generational anxiety breaking. You didn't just pay his rent. You bought him the ability to breathe. You are 35. You acquire a third property, a duplex in a neighborhood that smells like cut grass and sounds like barking dogs. The combined real estate cash flow is $1,480 a month. Portfolio income is $510 a month. Total, $1,990. Then the year goes wrong. Your second rental loses its tenant. The unit sits vacant for 3 months. A pipe bursts in the duplex. Repair cost, $2,800. The market drops 22% in 6 weeks. Your portfolio falls from $124,000 to $96,000. Your passive income shrinks to $1,340. You sit at your kitchen table at 2 a.m. on a Thursday with a calculator and a feeling you haven't had in years. Fear, real structural fear. You think about selling the duplex. You think about stopping the auto transfers. You think maybe this was always going to end exactly here. You don't sell. You don't stop. Not because you are brave, because the math still works on a longer timeline than your fear can see. By 36, the unit is filled. The market recovers. Your passive income is $2,100. The fear left a scar, but the scar is useful. It taught you the difference between a setback and a collapse. The shift, you stop measuring your wealth by what you have saved and start measuring it by what arrives without you. Your net worth is a number on a screen. Your passive income is a pulse. It beats every month whether you do anything or not. At 37, You leave your job, not dramatically. You give 2 weeks. Your manager asks if you have another offer. You say no. He looks at you the way people look at someone who has just made a mistake they cannot explain. The year before, you refinanced the duplex and acquired a 4th unit. A small 1-bedroom that cash flows $410 a month. Between that and the portfolio recovery, your passive income is $3,400 a month. Your expenses are $3,100. The margin is $300. It is razor thin. It is real. On a Thursday afternoon, your boss asks you to cancel your weekend plans to oversee a delayed project. 3 years ago, you would have silently calculated the overtime pay and nodded. Today, you don't do any math. You look at him and simply say, "No, I won't be able to do that." The silence in the room is heavy. He is not used to boundaries from employees. You walk out of the building at 5 p.m. The air outside tastes entirely different. That is the exact moment you realize what you actually bought. You didn't buy money, you bought autonomy. You spend the first Monday morning after quitting sitting at your kitchen table at 9:15 a.m., drinking coffee that you made slowly, deliberately, without checking the time once. The coffee tastes different when you are not late for anything. The bus you used to take passes outside the window. You hear the brakes. You watch it go. You sit there for an additional 40 minutes doing absolutely nothing. It is the most expensive nothing you have ever purchased, and it is worth every cent. The third rule. The gap between $3,000 and $5,000 a month in passive income is not $2,000. It is the gap between survival and sovereignty. Below it, you are free but fragile. Above it, you are building from a position that no employer can revoke. You are 39. You have been free for 2 years, and you have learned something nobody warns you about. Sovereignty without a direction is just waiting. The mornings are yours, but they start to feel the same. You start a small consulting practice, not because you need the income, but because building is the only skill your body remembers how to perform. Your passive income crosses $5,200 a month. For the first time, you are earning more while sleeping than most people earn while working. You do not say this out loud. You have learned that talking about passive income to people who do not have it creates a distance that is not worth the conversation. A friend named Marcus tells you he is thinking about starting to invest. He is 38. You tell him to start immediately. You do not tell him what the last 15 years would have looked like if he had started when you did. Your passive income reaches $8,000 a month at 42. You own 5 units. Your portfolio has crossed $400,000. A licensing deal pays $2,200 a month in royalties. You hire a property manager. The cost is $600 a month. Your net passive income drops to $7,400. But you buy back approximately 15 hours a week. You calculate the trade. That is $10 per hour of your life returned to you. You will make this trade every time. At 45, the number is $12,000 a month. You take a trip for 3 weeks. When you return, your accounts hold more money than when you left, because the machine deposited $12,000 while you were not in the country. You stood on a bridge in Lisbon at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, and $387 arrived in your brokerage account from a quarterly dividend. The fourth rule: passive income at $10,000 a month does not make you rich. It makes you unnecessary. Your presence is no longer required for your life to function financially. You are 50. Your passive income is $24,000 a month. The jump from $12,000 happened because of 2 things. The consulting business you started at 39 matured into a product company. You sold 60% of it to a partner for $380,000, which you deployed into a small apartment complex. 8 units, net cash flow, $6,400 a month. You walk through the empty hallway of the 8-unit building on the day you close the deal. It smells like old carpet and bleach. You touch the brick wall. This is not a digital number on a screen. This is a physical anchor in the real world. 8 families will live here. 8 lives will happen under this roof. You hire a property management firm the same week. You hand them the keys. You are no longer a landlord dealing with midnight plumbing emergencies. You are an allocator of capital. The portfolio crossed $800,000, and the dividends alone generate $3,200 a month now. Your older properties, the ones you bought in your late 20s and early 30s, have appreciated in rent by 30% over a decade. What used to net $4,200 a month across 4 units now nets $5,800. The royalties still pay $2,200. The 40% of the consulting business you retained generates $6,400 a month in distributions without your daily involvement. The math adds up now in a way that requires a spreadsheet to track. You no longer track it weekly. Diane does. You sit on the board of a small real estate fund. You advise 2 founders. Your mornings belong entirely to you. Your mother needs care. $4,800 a month. It is covered by passive income. You do not rearrange your life. You do not take a second job. You add a line item. Your sister calls it generous. You call it structural. It was always the point, not the money. The ability to absorb a crisis without becoming one. Your passive income reaches $100,000 a month at 62. You do not celebrate. The number lost its emotional charge somewhere around $40,000. What you feel instead is a kind of architectural satisfaction. The way an engineer might feel looking at a bridge they designed, watching trucks cross it 20 years later. You built a machine. The machine runs. It feeds your family, funds your mother's care, supports 2 scholarships you set up through a local community college, and generates more capital than you spend. You are not retired, you are operational. You choose what to work on. You choose when to stop. You choose who to help. Every choice is funded by a system that does not require your presence to continue functioning. You think about your brother sometimes, the one who called you on a Sunday with $800 in his account. He is doing better now. He started investing at 41 after watching what it did for you. His passive income is $1,100 a month. He tells you it changed how he sleeps. You know exactly what he means. The alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. It is the same sound, the same phone, the same nightstand. You open your eyes. You look at the ceiling for a moment. You reach over and press dismiss. Not snooze. Dismiss. You roll onto your side. The morning light presses warm through the curtains. You close your eyes again, not because you are tired, because you can. The bus passes outside. It carries the same route, the same seats, the same 7:02 schedule. Someone on that bus is 23 years old, eating cereal standing up, checking the time, trading hours for dollars, wondering if this is all there is. It is not. But they will not know that until $4.12 shows up in their account on a Wednesday morning, uninvited, unexplained, and undeniable. That is where it starts. It always starts there. $4.12. It always will.